Welcome to ASA Sports Betting. This is the Slip Surgeon, and you are watching Inside the Slip. Now, I've got a question here. Have you ever stepped into, or rather onto your Betway platform, or rather on a Betway website, and you're just browsing around, you're trying to understand exactly what's going on, and the only thing that you're seeing is numbers and letters, and everything is just puzzles. You can't understand exactly what it is that's going on. Well, we've all been there, to be honest with you. I myself have personally been there. First couple of months was a hell to try and understand exactly what it is that was going on within that space, because I got introduced to Betway by one of the most professional sports betting punters in the space. Okay, gave me a couple of tips here and there just to basically get me off and started on my journey to understanding exactly what it is that is going on within the sports betting platform. So the reason why I'm making the series of videos that will be coming up going forward is to help guys like you who are still new to sports betting, right? You probably are going to have a lot of questions about what all of these strategies mean. Like, for example, when you say double chance, what does that mean? Right, halftime, full-time bets, your scores, your overs and your unders. It's very complex. It's very confusing at first, but you need to know and understand these things in order for you to be able to even create a betting slip or make any predictions whatsoever. It gets much more advanced later down the line, and I hope that you're going to be here for that as well. So I'm going to take you guys through each and every one of these steps, as this is also something that I had to do on my own personally. So unfortunately, we don't really have a whole lot of information about how to bet. I mean, I came across a couple of videos online, but felt like they didn't fully cover everything entirely, right? So I took it upon myself to start studying up Betway and fully trying to understand the platform itself and how to do analysis and a whole lot of other things as well. So I'm hoping that this is going to be valuable for you as well while you are there. And also, I am planning to host a couple of professional sports betting punters in our South African space, and I'm hoping that they will be willing to be a part of the show as well. So let's get straight into it. Follow along. So here we are, guys, on Betway, and this is what it looks like at first glance. This is what you're going to come across at first glance, all right? Now, just to run you guys through the platform, you have all the different types of sports that you will come across. Okay, and then right now they actually have a new website, but I prefer the old website. I feel like it's more user friendly, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and use this old website. But if you do want to switch over to the new website, you just click on the new website. But we're not going to be talking about the new website right now. We're just going to focus strictly on the sports categories. Now you've got soccer, you've got live matches that are currently playing, you've got aviator. Some of you are interested in aviator. You've got casino games, jet x, horse racing as well. You can also bet on horse races, lucky numbers. You've got bet games and a whole lot more categories that you could basically choose from. Now the average punter or individual is probably going to want to come and try out sports betting, strictly football. There's also basketball and a whole lot of other sports, right? But we're just going to keep it strictly on the football part, right? Now, these are the leagues. Okay, you can choose what league you want to focus on specifically. Okay, and that's going to take you to the specific league with all the teams from that league that you might want to bet on. Okay, and then we've got upcoming matches and outrights as well as highlights at the same time. Okay, now highlights, these are today's games. Okay, these are all of today's games. Oh, sorry, there's also the 28th as well, which are games that were playing yesterday. I'm not sure, have I actually refreshed this page? Let me just quickly refresh it, guys, so we're on the same page here. Want to make sure that we are not on an outdated feed. There we go. There we go. There we go. This is what it's actually supposed to look like. Okay, so we've got games for today. We've got games for the 30th. These are all the upcoming matches. Okay, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like. So if you see old outdated matches, just go ahead and refresh the page. It should give you a feed like this where you are seeing only today's and more upcoming matches. Okay, and then a simple thing that you can do here is you can just straight up click on the match, like Siwelele FC, for example. Right, you can click on the match over here. Once you click on it, what happens? It shows you it's Siwelele FC versus Richards Bay FC. Once you click on it, you will be opening up a portal to a whole lot more confusion. Okay, but that confusion isn't actually supposed to confuse you. This is literally where the magic happens. Okay, this is strictly where the magic happens. Okay, this is where and how everything starts whenever you want to create a betting slip. Like for example, let's say we look at Siwelele FC versus Richards Bay. Now what you see here, these numbers over here, these numbers, your 3.5, your 3.35, your 2.75, your 2.48, these numbers are what we call odds. Okay, these are numbers that are called odds. Now what does it mean when we talking about odds? Think about odds as a sense of probability. Think about odds as a sense, just to give you guys an example here, it would be like, how likely would it be that Siwelele FC is going to win against Richards Bay FC? Okay, think about it in that sense. That's what it usually means. So the 2.48 odds is lower than the 3.35 odds, right? This means that the probability of Siwelele FC winning the match is high. Okay, that is why it is going to be lower. So think of it like this: whenever the odds are lower, it means it's a good thing. Okay, there's high probability of that something taking place in the market. Okay, think of it in that sense. If the odds are high, it means that there's a risk there. Okay, it means that there's a risk. So if there's a risk, it means that whatever it is that you're betting on, it may not happen. That prediction that you are betting on, it's got a high likelihood of not happening. You understand? So low odds are a good thing, to simplify it for you. High odds, risky, not so good. Okay, just to put it plainly and simple. Okay, and then say now we have done our analysis. Just as a simple example here, we come to Siwelele FC and we decide that, okay, the match result is going to be Siwelele FC winning. So match result, it's 1-2. Okay, this means, it means that this is going to be a winning. Okay, that you are predicting that Siwelele FC is going to win. Okay, this 1-2, it's a win. That's what it means. It just means a win. So you can click on that. Immediately when you click on it, it turns into a darker shade of green. When you click on it, what happens? All of a sudden, you are shown a new window to the side. What does this mean now? This is what we now call a betting slip. You are now creating a betting slip by making predictions. Okay, so Siwelele FC, you are predicting that Siwelele FC is going to win the match against Richards Bay FC. That's what it simply means, and the odds for this are 2.48. So you can go ahead and keep on choosing the different teams as you go along, right? But everything happens with analysis. You do not just come into the sports betting platform and you start making money. It's not necessarily how it works. You have to do your analysis. You have to understand exactly what it is that you are picking and what it means. You understand? Like for example, we can click on the same thing here and we can also unclick it. Okay, if you click it again, it's going to vanish, to disappear. So it's more like you are undoing your last selection. Okay, and then you could also bet on a draw. If you believe that they're going to draw, you click on draw. right? It's going to show up there. Richards Bay to win. Also, it's going to show up there. Okay. And then also, there's different types of markets. Winning results, which is match results. There's both teams to score. You can choose whether you believe both teams are going to score or one team is going to score. You can choose. It's either you go with a yes or a no. Everything is literally probability. Okay. And then double chance. Now, this is also probably one of the most important things. Okay. Double chance. Double chance is to basically say that it's giving you it's giving you one of two options simultaneously. Okay. It's when you get to choose two possible outcomes, but you only need one result to happen in order for you to actually win the bet slip. So if one of those two things happen in your favor, then that is going to be a win for you. Okay, like for example, in this case, double chance, we believe Siwelele FC is going to win, or it's going to be a draw. We're not saying that Siwelele is going to win or Richards Bay is going to win. We're just saying either Siwelele is winning or there's going to be a draw. That's what double chance means. Okay. Not sure if I'm making sense here, guys. If you do not understand some of these things, it's as simple as using this eye over here. If you click on this eye over here, it says allows you to cover two of the three possible outcomes with one bet. That's the same thing I just explained for you guys, but in simpler words. Okay, because some people might be clicking on the eye and they might not actually understand exactly what it means. You understand? So I'm going to try and explain it to you guys in the most layman terms ever. Okay. So draw no bet. Okay. What does that mean? That's also another betting market. Now you predict which team will be the winner. Okay. In the case of a draw, all bets will be void. If a game is abandoned, bets will be void. What does void mean? Here's what it means. If, say, for example, the game is cancelled, it means that you're going to get your money back, right? Now, say, for example, we're looking at a draw no bet for Siwelele FC. It means that we are betting that Siwelele FC is the strong team here. We're expecting Siwelele FC to win. But if Siwelele FC doesn't win and it ends up being a draw, what happens? You get your money back. That's what draw no bet means, okay? And then your overs and unders has got a whole lot to do with goals, specifically goals, okay? That's what it means. It means that, for example, if we're looking at overs and unders, what does it mean? Over 0.5, what does that mean? Over 0.5, it means that we're expecting that there's at least going to be one goal. Now, the 0.5 is, say, whenever you're rounding up a number. Now, we can't necessarily say we're going to have half a goal. That makes no sense. You understand? So over 0.5, if you round up to the nearest one, that gives you one goal. So technically, in a way, we are saying that over 0.5 means that we are expecting that there's at least going to be one goal. If there's more than one goal, you still win the bet. If there's more than 5 goals, you still win the bet. Okay? Same thing over here. 1.5. Whenever you see the 0.5, just round up to the nearest whole number. Okay. So for 0.5, we'll add another 0.5 to make a one full goal. And then for 1.5, we add another 0.5 to make it 2 goals. Well, so when we're saying over 1.5, it means that we're expecting that there's going to be 2 goals or more. Same thing here. To over 2.5. Over 2.5 is 3 goals or more. Same thing over and over. 3.5, 4 goals or more. 3.5, 4 goals or more. 4.5, 5 goals or more. 5.5, 6 goals or more. That's what we are basically saying when we are choosing the overs and unders. Same thing applies for whenever we are looking at the unders. 0.5, it means that we're not expecting any goals. Okay. Under 1.5 means under 2 goals. Okay, under 2 goals means under 1.5 is under 2 goals, meaning that if there's one goal or 2 goals strictly, then that's also still under 2 goals. Yes, it's one. Sorry, it's 1 goal, not 2 goals. It's 1 goal. It can be very confusing when you start talking about the unders. But anyway, that's pretty much the idea here. Okay. Whenever we're talking about overs, we just add 0.5 and then to the nearest whole number. Same thing whenever we are using the unders. You add a 0.5 to make a whole number, because there is no half and half, okay? Whenever it comes to goal scoring, it's either there's one goal or there's no goals. There's no half a goal. It makes no sense. And then when you click on more, okay, when you click on load more, there's a whole lot of other different types of markets, okay? Like one goal, first goal, who's going to score the first goal? Is it going to be Siwelele FC? Is it going to be Richards Bay? You get to choose each and every one of these things, right? And then there's a combination of bets where you are saying that, yes, I am betting that Siwelele FC is going to win the match by under and under 1.5 goals. The whole idea here was, I was thinking to myself, how am I going to frame this whole thing for you guys in a way that you can understand it, okay? And then same thing here. This is a win and how many goals. This is to say, we're expecting this specific team to win. So it could be Siwelele FC or Richards Bay. Either one of these two teams are going to win. But by over how many goals? So it's more like you're getting to choose two options here versus just one option, okay? That is basically what this whole thing means. So that's what it means when we say 1/2 and overs and unders, okay? Handicaps. I'll give you guys a simple example. A handicap is when, for example, you believe that Siwelele FC is the stronger team here, so we're expecting it to lead by at least 2 goals, okay? Or 1 goal, or whatever the case may be, right? Or you're thinking that Richards Bay FC is the underdog. Say, for example, it is the underdog and we're expecting it to basically fall behind by 1 goal. So we're either expecting one team to lead by 1 or 2 goals, or it's either you're expecting the other team to follow behind by 1 or 2 goals. So that's what handicap means, okay? In the simplest words ever, okay? And then there's also options. Who's going to score the last goal? Which team which team to score, right? Let's open this as well, right? You can also say both teams could score, but this is more or less like picking both teams to score, yes or no. So regardless of the fact, I feel like that's more or less the same thing, right? Now, you also have 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, what are you expecting? What's the outcome? The odd and the even. I'm not sure about that market. I actually haven't used that market like ever. And then you could also bet on exact goals. Now, you also have the option to choose here what's going to happen within the first half and the full-time match. There's a whole lot of options, guys. There's a whole lot of options. If you do have any questions whatsoever, you can just leave a comment in the you can drop a comment in the comment section. I will answer any questions that you might have, okay, about certain types of markets, because there's so many types of markets that are available that you need to understand them before you choose or use whatever market type that you will be going for, okay? It is essential that you understand what you are doing before you place a bet, because you might just be placing random bets and choosing random markets, but you don't really know what you're doing, and that's going to cause you to lose. It's very hard, okay? It is very, very hard to create a winning betting slip, because here's the reality of betting. It's not guaranteed, okay? There's no guarantee that you're going to win the entire 5 or 6 predictions, right? 6 legs that you have basically predicted on your betting slip. There's a whole lot of things that could happen. This is sports, guys. This is like trying to predict what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's just more about a probabilities games. You first have to do the analysis. Look at what has happened in the past, right? You look at the team's performance, the stats, everything. You understand? In order for you to understand, okay, what is more likely to happen in the future? What is the probability of this same thing happening again and again and again? Just look at the average results of the past couple of games that have happened, okay, or have taken place. And then you do your analysis and then make your predictions based on what you have already summed up from your analysis. And this is the only way that you can actually increase probability. But right now, my focus here is to see if we can actually increase probability within the sports betting space by trying to find the one thing that is going to increase the probability of the average sports punter. I have been making some of my own predictions. I'm going to go ahead and share that with you guys as well. So let's get straight into that because I don't want the video to be too long. All right, let's go to my bets. Right now I currently have these two slips. You noticed one thing, that they are more or less the same. Okay, they're more or less the same, and the reason why they're more or less the same is because I copied a code from one specific sports punter. Okay, and what did I do? I flipped it. Okay, I did my own research from what I had already seen there, and I came up with different results as opposed to what they have there. Okay, so you might come to find that my ticket is actually one that wins, while theirs is the one that loses, or theirs is the one that's going to win and mine is the one that's going to lose. Either way, this is about gauging probability. I'm a numbers person. I'm a person who is in the financial markets trading space. Just by the way, I'm a trader and also a mentor. We're not going to talk about that, but here's the thing. For the past couple of years, let me just say 10 years plus, I've been a person who is within the financial market space, and I understand numbers like probably not a lot of people understand numbers the way that I understand numbers, but probability is probably one of the most important things whenever it comes to anything whatsoever that's got to do with money. Okay? Search for probability. Look for the things that are not obvious. Okay? We don't care about what's obvious. What we want right now is what is not obvious. What is it that we're missing? There's always going to be something that we're missing. I don't know what it is yet on this platform, but if there is, you can trust that I will be the one to find it. I'm sorry to say that, but I've spent so much time within the financial trading space that I've come up with this mentality of seeing things that are not obvious. You understand? So it's essential that you find that thing that no one else is seeing. What is it that we're missing here? You understand? So my thing here is coming into the sports betting space and to find a way to increase the probability. Not just my probability, but for everyone, in fact. So I hope that you guys are going to be a part of that journey. Okay, so this is what I have currently, and we have these two tickets. It's more or less the same thing, but just with varying results here and there. This one has a cash out of about 25 rand, or roughly 25 rand. This is 8 rand. I can also go ahead and pull out the slip so you can see that these are some of the bets that were taken, and these matches I've already played, which is why they're green. Just by the way, that's also something that you need to know. If a match has won, or rather your prediction has won, it's going to turn green. If it lost, the slip is not going to be here anymore. It's going to automatically close, which is something you also need to know. So in case you're wondering, but you had a slip that was running, it's not in the open slips anymore. It's in your settled slips. Okay, you come here, settled bets. Okay, so this was just a couple of other slips that I copied from somewhere. I'm not going to mention who, but I copied these from somewhere, and these were losing. Most of them were losing. Okay, and this is another example of why you need to be able to do your own analysis. Okay, I've got a specific way that I operate. Whenever I do anything whatsoever, I like to do my research first. I'm going to show you my personal slip that I took. It was sometime over the week. I think it's the 135. I think it's the 135. Is it? Yeah, it's the 135. This was my own prediction. Okay, this was 19 selections. It was a 19 leg selection, and this is how much I actually got away with. Okay, I had 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19. That's the 19 leg selection that I had. So out of the 19 legs, 1 2 3 legs. So that means that 3 legs out of 16 were winning. Sorry, we're losing. So we won 16 matches and we only lost 3. Okay. Now, it could have gone in my favor. It could not have gone in my favor. So for me, this is probability, guys. It tells me that the way that I analyze, I've won 16 matches out of 3, right? 16 matches out of 3. That is a massive, massive, massive step up, okay? This could easily have gone in my favor, and at the same time, it couldn't possibly have gone in my favor. Why? Because you cannot fully predict what's going to happen tomorrow. So the matches could have played my way. They couldn't have played my way. I guess I just wasn't lucky enough, right? But at the same time, it's realistic. We have to be realistic because you cannot win, and you will not win every match. One thing I can tell you here is, if you want to find some form of consistency, guys, you've got the option of growing your account. How do you grow your account? Do your analysis or collect slips from people who are professional and know exactly what it is that they're doing, right? And then you follow their slips. Once you follow their slips, you can make some changes. You can remove some of the legs that you don't want. You can shorten it. Maybe there's like 19 and you shorten, like for example, if you took my slip and then you removed 3 games from there, who knows, you may have won the entire slip. All 16 games would have played, you would have won all 16. You can remove all of them and leave, maybe you can remove most of them and leave maybe 5 legs. Let the 5 legs play out. That's a win for you, right? Now here's the thing about multi-bets. Multi-bets require that the entire selection wins. If one team loses, or one selection or prediction loses, then the entire slip crumbles completely. You have not gone anywhere. You've literally just stopped. It's going to cut you off. You're not going to collect anything. You're just going to have to create another slip or copy another code and play. And it's as simple as that. Okay. So this is the reality of it, guys. So here's my thing. I'm trying to push boundaries here. I'm trying to push boundaries in the sense that I dedicate my time to understanding fully the analysis part of it, right? But I don't want to look at the obvious things. I mean, we already know what the obvious things are, right? Like, for example, Inter Milan is going to win against Torino. Why is Inter Milan going to win against Torino, right? Questions like that. Estrella Amadora FC, overs and unders. I'm expecting over 1.5 goals between these two teams. The obvious, I don't care about. I want to know, what am I not seeing? What is it that is being not sure? What are we not seeing exactly here? You want to focus more on those things than the obvious things that are just there for you to see, because the obvious things are probably going to be the things that are going to kill you. Like, for example, if we were to say Newcastle versus Liverpool, Newcastle is going to win. Why would Newcastle win over Liverpool? If you look at these teams, these are probably teams that are at the top of the table, maybe at the center of the table, right? They're two strong teams. So why would Newcastle win over Liverpool? You need to do the analysis. Find out why you're making that bet. Is it actually a smart bet that you are taking, or it's a bet that is risky? Because you can say that over 1.5, or rather a straight win, like for example a straight win, Newcastle is definitely going to win against Liverpool. But if you look at the history, you can see that these are teams that were at odds with each other for quite some time, right? And one team is winning this time, next thing this time this team is winning. So you can never really stabilize. So you can look at the average and say that, okay, it seems like Newcastle is winning more frequently than Liverpool. But if you look at the way that the teams play, they've got an open style type of playing where they're attacking mostly. That becomes a problem now, because any team is expected to concede goals. And then that becomes a problem, because then any one of these teams can start scoring. So another thing that you can do is you can think of it like this. If we are to say Newcastle versus Liverpool, we're expecting that Newcastle is going to win. Why don't you change that selection instead, and from selecting Newcastle is definitely expected to win, and just looking at it from a different perspective, like look at it from a different angle and say, but if Newcastle is going to win, or Liverpool is also potentially going to score as well, let's not look at a straight win. Let's look at how many goals this might be. then you start thinking a different way. Okay, that also increases your chances of winning, because you still are aiming for the same result, but instead of aiming for a risky same result, you are aiming for a safe, smart result. I'm going to get more into this when we actually start doing analysis going forward. But stay with me, guys. You do not want to miss any of my videos. I will also be sharing some selections of my own if you guys would like to follow such. You're welcome to follow some of my slips, and of course cash outs. I think I forgot to mention cash outs. Whenever we are betting within the Betway space, some of the bet slips are going to have cash out options, where when these games are playing, a cash out is going to be open, right? A cash out is going to be open. It means that as the games play, you are making profit. Okay, you are making profit from that slip. Okay, meaning that you can cash out at any time. Say you bet with 5 rand, and then 3 games have won, or maybe 4 games have won, and then your cash out option is like 50 rand. You can take that 50 rand and then rebet the same slip for the remaining games. It's literally up to you. That's just something that I think I've never seen anyone cover in the videos that I have come across. So I feel like I just need to cover everything that I potentially can cover for you guys, so we're all on the same page here. Okay, so yeah, that is all that I have for today. I do not want to make this video very long. It's already long enough as it is. 30 minutes of your time. I hope you're going to be sitting there and just doing the most and fully enjoying the video. In the meantime, I will love to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you do come back and support as we are on this journey together. Stay with me. I will take you to greater heights, hopefully. Cheers, guys.